Hello, job seekers. Melanie here with CGL Recruiting. And I have been asked this question lately a lot from people in this post-COVID pandemic time. And that is, how often can I switch jobs? That's what we're going to cover today. The pros and the cons, what looks good on your resume and your career path, what doesn't, and when you should do it anyway. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment now and do click that subscribe button and also ring that bell for notifications. Now, when you do ring that bell, remember there's two settings. You can do one, which will kind of randomize which videos you see, and the other one will actually notify you on your YouTube every time we do release a new video or do one of our live events. Okay, let's dig right into this. How often can I switch jobs? Now, the last thing you want to be seen in the job search process is as a job hopper. Now, what do we classify as a job hopper? Generally, that's people that are moving about every couple months, one, even 2 years, if they're doing it consistently across their resume. So I don't want you to panic if you've got like 10 years, even 5 years with one employer, and then you have a short stint and then another long one. You're going to be fine and nobody's going to see you as a job hopper. But if your resume, whether it's through your own fault or not, is jumping a lot, you can be seen as a job hopper. And you do need to take this into consideration when you're wondering, can I switch jobs or should I not? If you do it every month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, the employers, whether right or wrong, start thinking, well, is there something wrong with this person? And even if you have a great story as to why, if it's something that you had absolutely no control in, if you're in that kind of industry, whatever the reasons may be that you had all these different job hops, your story doesn't get told immediately, right? So if you just have a bunch of hops on your resume, there's a good chance somebody's going to just say, nope, I want somebody who's going to be a little bit more loyal. Now, why do they say that? Why do they think you're not loyal? It's all about money. It all comes down to money. They're trying to see if the investment that they're putting into the employees, if that person is going to be able to stay with them, and so they can recoup their investment from their recruiting and from their training. Now, is that the right way for companies to think? I get it to a point. However, if a company is able to get somebody that's really, really high level and just keep them for 6 months to a year, they may be so impactful in that 6 months to a year as if they'd stayed for 3 to 5 years. But anyway, so how often can you switch jobs? The first thing I'm going to tell you is if you are in a situation where you are miserable in your job, and you do not feel like you are being treated appropriately, you should consider switching jobs. Do not let this fear of job hopping stop you from getting out of a bad situation. I was actually talking with a job seeker just yesterday that was in an incredibly bad position. She had worked for a long time, over 15 years, at an employer of choice, got caught in a COVID layoff, and then ended up getting a job that was a temporary job in an environment that was ridiculous, the things that that company was doing. Now, if it's something that company is doing something illegal, report it, right? You have avenues to report it in whatever country that you're in. But if it's something that's not illegal and it's just bad management, a bad work environment, if they're trying to even do constructive discharge on you, the thing is, if you are in that kind of environment long term, it's going to do a couple of things to your motivation. It's going to stop you from being successful in the job. And then you're going to stop not doing your best and fail and going to give them an excuse to terminate you. It's going to affect your personal life. It's going to bleed out into other parts of your life if you are so miserable in a job. So if you're in that scenario, can you switch jobs? Can you quit? Yes, you absolutely can. Now, I always believe, and I think most HR people will tell you the same thing, it's always easier to find a job when you have a job. And the reason for that is you're not so stressed. You're not stressed about the money issue. You're not stressed about worrying, oh my gosh, am I going to find something new? What if I don't? It takes all that off the table if you already have a job, right? But there may be times where the situation may be so detrimental to you that you should and can switch jobs faster, even quitting if you don't have another job. Now, if you are just looking to advance your career and you're wondering how often can I switch jobs, just looking at general career advancement, you do need to kind of look at this the same way if you're switching from company to company. And that is, you want to stay at least preferably 3 years, unless there's just this amazing opportunity that you're presented with. It's a little different, though, if you're doing movement within the same company. So a lot of companies, especially this is very big in the oil and gas space, will do rotational programs where they will bring you in and they'll switch you sometimes every 6 months, every 9 months, 12 months into a new role. When you have one employer for 6 years, but even if you had 7 jobs within that 6 years, that is not seen as detrimental to your resume or to your career. So don't worry about if it's internal movement that there's a problem. Now, of course, the caveat I would give you in that is if you're switching in that 5-6 years in the same company from procurement to accounting to HR to something else, and you're not focusing your career, that can be a different issue, right? It's all about being focused when you're looking at long-term career and your job search. There may be times when that diverse experience can help you and be positive that you're getting all of those different sides, but you do want to make sure as you are presenting yourself and doing your job seeker brand that you're showing your clear direction and your focus towards what you're trying to get and to be. So let's sum this all up. So how often can you switch jobs? If possible, try to stay at least 2 to 3 years in a job so you're not seen as a job hopper. But if you are in a bad situation and you need to change, it is okay to switch jobs. You are the most important thing in all of the things that we're talking about. All right, if you have any questions on this, put them down below and I will make sure to try and respond to each and every one we get. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.